Hi, my name is Nick Anderson, and today I'm going to show you what is in Lil Nas X vocal chain for his song Montero specifically. I'm going to be doing this in Logic Pro X today, but we're going to go through each of the plugins so you can replicate it in whatever DAW you use. All right, so let's get right into this. Okay, so as you can see, I've got my session here. Let's play a little bit so you can hear that it truly is the real thing.
Call me when you need, call me in the morning, I'll be on the way, call me when you want.
Cool. So we've got our vocal chain here, and that's what we're focusing on today. So let's just solo that.
I caught it bad just today.
Cool. So let's figure out what's all in this vocal chain. I did want to mention, if you are a Logic Pro X user, I do actually have a template set up for using this in your own sessions where I get all of these audio routings into a template so that you don't have to figure out how to get them into your own Logic Pro sessions. Otherwise, if you don't want to go to my website and download that, I actually have another video where I explain how to do all of that, how to get this session into your own template so that you can use these for your own vocals. The download link for the template and also the video for how to do your own template is in the description below, but let's get right into this. I'm just going to go through each of these plugins on this chain so that you guys can do the same thing in your own DAWs. Okay, so first thing he's got here is pitch correct. And you can see he did a user scale, so he marked off the notes that he actually is using. What most people do is get the scale, whether it's a major scale, minor scale, and then the root of that scale. But if you don't know how to do that, the best way to do it is just go to chromatic, and then this is going to just do its best to fit in every scale. But he had a user scale, so we're going to go back to that. Also important to notice that he doesn't have a super fast autocorrect on there. So 89.8 milliseconds is the response. A lot of people will sometimes go all the way down to fast, and that's where you get that like T-Pain stuff, but he's got it at 89.8. Next thing we've got here is a de-esser. So at this point, you can kind of look at what he's got there for the de-esser. This is all of the controls on this. And then you can pause this video and take a look at this, and whatever DAW you're using, kind of do the same thing in your DAW with a de-esser. Okay, next is a channel EQ. We can take a look at that. You can see that they really are pushing up the high end here with several bands. So take a look at the bottom here. Again, you can pause and copy this for your own DAW. And it is important to note that these do need to be in the right order because the signal passes through them in that specific way, and that helps create the tone. Okay, next is a compressor. This is a vintage VCA compressor. And again, you can pause the video and take a look at the different settings that he's got here. Okay, then we've got a noise gate. So we can take a look at that. Then we've got a second compressor, still a vintage VCA, but take a look at it again. And the reason that he's got a second compressor here, I assume, is because he wants to, once that noise gate takes out some of the noise, he wants to compress it again so that that new, cleaner signal is pushed up as well. Okay, then we've got a console EQ. This is where a lot of that like tone is going to come from. A lot of the professional tone comes from these vintage console EQs. When you go into a studio and you see a big console with all those faders and stuff that you see in all the pictures of studios, this is that. It's this kind of thing that really changes tone ever so slightly, but makes a huge difference in professional recordings. Okay, then we've got an exciter. So again, if you're using Logic, you can just copy this exact thing. Or if you're using a different DAW, just grab an exciter and do a similar settings. Okay, and then we've got another de-esser. And you can take a look at what they did with that de-esser there. Okay, so then this is the part everyone forgets because I think a lot of users will probably just save this as a channel strip setting and then use that. But there are just a few different things in here that are going to make this just shine. Bus 16 he's got on here, and that's a doubler. So we'll open up our mixer here and go over to bus 16. And bus 16 is just a subtle doubler. So you can see what he's got for settings here on the doubler. And then pause that and copy it if you need to. But then what's important is him sending to that doubler, he's actually just sending it -1 is what he's got it at. So he's sending quite a bit to the doubler there. Okay, and then last but not least, they send it to bus 70 instead of a stereo out, and that's so that they can do a few more things. So the next thing, bus 70, you would want to send it to, and on that channel, they've got a compressor first, and this time they do a vintage FET compressor, and you can take a look at the settings there. Then they've got another console EQ. And then finally a channel EQ. And you can take a look at the little changes they did here. Okay, next I see that this read is red, so I want to know what they're doing for automation on this. So we're going to go into automation. It looks like they are automating volume. So that's not super important for us to know, but just a mixing thing when you guys are doing your own tracks. So I hope this really helped you, see what his vocal chain is like. Again, I have a template for Logic that you can download with a link below. It's going to open up a template where you can actually use his vocal chain. I've got all the buses set up for you. So you can see mine are named different. Bus 2 is going to be that, the doubler. And then bus 1 is going to be that compressor, console EQ, channel EQ. And then I also went ahead and went through the backup vocal chain as well. So if that interests you, definitely download it below. Otherwise, definitely, if you have a different DAW, just copy the settings, pause the video where you need to copy those settings and get this Lil Nas X vocal chain. I hope this video was super helpful for you. My name is Nick Anderson. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below. If you're wondering where I got this session from, Apple released this version of Montero for Logic Pro X users. And I have videos here. I can never point the right way. Here and here that are going to show you how to make your own templates for Logic Pro X using these files. It's not as easy as just copying the channel strip settings. And I have other presets on my website as well. Make sure to subscribe. I'm going to go through other vocal chains and guitar chains and other just musical things on my channel. So if you like this video, feel free to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.